So we're up to the beginning of the 7th Perek. These Mishnayos are all how you deal with stuff that you're going to have to be mafresh from, but you can't do it right now, or these types of problems. So the first Mishnah. If someone invites his friend to come eat by him, but the guest doesn't trust his host al Ma'aser that he has properly taken off Ma'aser, but he wants to go for the Shabbos meal.
Chapter 7, Mishnah 5?
Mishnah 1.
Oh. I guess the remark didn't work. Or I didn't work.
Well, since it's only you, we can start again. Chapter 7, okay. Mishnah 1. Someone who invites his friend by him, and the guest does not trust his host about Ma'aser, but he would like to go to him for the Shabbos meal anyway. So what do? Omer mi'erev Shabbos. You say before Shabbos begins, Mashani asul lahafresh machar, that which I'm going to separate tomorrow, harehu Ma'aser. So tomorrow I'm going to separate on my plate whatever amount, and that amount should be Ma'aser. V'shar Ma'aser samach, and all the Ma'aser should be together. And zeh shasisi Ma'aser, that 1% now, that's Ma'aser, asisi trumas Ma'aser, I'm going to make that the trumas Ma'aser. Ma'aser Sheni, but Tzvaina B'droim, the Ma'aser Sheni should be on the north or the south side, some specific part of the plate. And he redeems it on money. And then he has to make sure to leave over that 1% on his plate as trumas Ma'aser. And it's his host's problem, and since his host believes all his stuff is good, his host is going to just treat it like regular. Mishnah Beis, the same idea with a cup of wine. They pour him a cup of wine. So Omer, he says, Mashani asilu shayra b'shuli akos, the little bit I'm going to leave in the bottom of the cup. Hu Ma'aser, that should be Ma'aser. V'shar Ma'aser samach, and the rest of the Ma'aser should be next to it in the bottom of the cup. And Zesh Shasisi Ma'aser, that little bit on the bottom that I'm going to leave on the bottom, which I've made Ma'aser, also trumas Ma'aser olav, I'm going to make it now the trumas Ma'aser of the Ma'aser. Ma'aser Sheni b'fiv, and the Ma'aser Sheni should be at the top of the cup. And the Ma'aser Sheni I'm redeeming onto money now. Again, the same setup when one's for food, one's for drink. Now Mishnah Gimel introduces another problem. Poyel, if you have a worker who's working by a field owner, whatever job he's doing.
I have a question though.
Yeah.
So what happens if you're eating challah at somebody's house and you don't think they don't take challah? Could you do the same?
You should be able to do the same thing, yeah.
Just put it to the side.
Right. Well, you have to say it specifically, but the problem is you have to say it before Shabbos. That's part of what we're trying to deal with over here.
Yeah, before Shabbos.
Because on Shabbos
but you
can't
don't have to say it yourself. You don't have to say it in the guy's face.
No. Mishnah Gimel.
So I'm going to somebody's house on Shabbos, and before Shabbos, I say the
piece that I'm going to leave to the side that I'm making challah from now.
Even if it's a suffix, maybe he takes it out, maybe he doesn't. Okay.
Only if it's suffix. If it's for sure, you can't. You would leave a loaf and make it challah after Shabbos. Okay. Mishnah Gimel. Poel she'enu ma'amin lebal bayis. If you have a worker who's working for somebody and he's working for food, but he doesn't trust the balabayas that that he takes off Ma'aser. So in our case, he's going to be eating figs. So notel gregoris achos, he takes one dried fig. V'aymer zeh, he says this fig v'tish Shabbos achera, and the next 9 I'm going to take. Asiyas Ma'aser, they should be Ma'aser. I'll teach him on the next 90 shani eichel, which I'm going to eat. And then zu asisi trumas Ma'aser, and this one that I'm holding, I'm going to make that one trumas Ma'aser land for the next 99. Ma'aser Sheni b'achrein, and Ma'aser Sheni will be the last 10. And Mochal Amos, and that he redeems on money. So the setup is all the same. The discussion over here is, does he have a right to do that? Because he's only entitled to however much he's going to eat. He's not entitled to take an extra fig to fix the Ma'aser problems. So the Choshech Gregoris Echa, so the first Tana says, and he holds himself back from eating one more fig that he'd like to eat, in order not to be stealing from the balabayas of taking more food than he's going to eat. Rishim Gamliel Aimer, no. Lo Yachshech, he shouldn't do that. Because Shal balabayas, he's not going to work as well if he's a little bit hungry. So better to eat the extra fig and be able to work better than to not eat it and not take more food than he might be entitled to. And Rabbi Yossi says a different explanation of why lo yachshach, why he doesn't have to eat less. Because it's a condition that Bezdin makes whenever you hire workers. You should know that they have this right, that if they don't trust you about Ma'aser, to take one extra fig as Trumas Ma'aser. It's not such a big expense, and it helps out all the religious workers. And finally, Mishnah Dalid, halachically yayin mi ben kusim. If you buy wine not from an Amoritz now, but from a Kusim, the problem with Kusim was it didn't bother them if other people did Averis, as long as they didn't do themselves. So there's a concern that they didn't even take off truma of what they're selling to you, because they felt whatever, that's not my problem. So it's essentially the same idea, except now you have to worry about the truma. So Amr, you say shnei lugin shani asl hafresh, 2 lugin, which I will take off harein truma. Vasara Ma'aser, and 10 which should be Ma'aser, V'tisha Ma'aser Sheni, and 9 Ma'aser Sheni, Umeichel, and then you can redeem the Ma'aser Sheni, V'shaisa, and drink as long as you leave, right, the Truma and the Ma'aser in the barrel for later, so that you can actually separate them and give them here to the Kohen and the Levi. And here you'll notice you're taking off Truma, you're taking off a full 10% for Ma'aser, because the Kusim, we assume, are selling you straight Hevel, where they did not take anything off themselves. Okay, we'll stop here.